Good morning, Nachum. Good have Shabbos, everybody. Oh, good chodesh. Today is Rosh Chodesh Elul. Today is the day we began Dover Hashem Ori. Today is the day we began Shofar. Oh my goodness. It is, you know what's coming. Okay. Tomorrow we have the privilege of reading Parshas Shoftim. According to the Chinuch, Parshas Shoftim contains 14 positive mitzvos and 27 restrictions. There's a lot in Parshas Shoftim. I'd like to focus on one verse that I think most of you will be somewhat surprised at, that this is the pasuk that's talking to me today. But I hope I can share a very exciting idea that comes therefrom. To me, the authenticity of Torah. What does that mean? The Torah tells us in the beginning of Parshas Shoftim that as part of the judicial process, al pi shnai edim o shnosha edim yumas hames, that in order for the Bezdin to execute, it can only be done by the testimony of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses. However, he shall not die by the testimony of a single witness. Okay, good. I'd like to suggest 3 reasons for this halacha. That, first of all, understand that execution in Jewish life was not a common phenomenon. The Mishnah at the end of the first parak of Makos teaches us once in 7 years. Whoa! Because there are many technical things, many technical reasons why we did not give it. For example, the hasra, the warning, has to be followed by the act of the perpetrator. The warning has to be immediately before the action. If he performed it a minute later, we can say he forgot, or we can say and attribute it to other factors. So there are many, many technicalities put in the way. So in actuality, we did not have executions every Montag and Donnerstag. However, the fact that the Torah uses the punishment of execution teaches us how serious Chilul Shabbos is, teaches us how serious the Avodah Zorah, idolatry is, and teaches us how serious Gilui Arayos are, immorality. Okay, let's get to work. Why is it that the Torah says that the witnesses themselves to the particular transgression that the person is being executed for, the witnesses who warned him, the witnesses who come and testify, they are to be the ones who initiate and participate in the execution. This is found in Parshas Shoftim, chapter 17, pasuk 7. Yad Oedim, the hands of the witnesses. Ti Ebo Barishona, literally, the hands of the witnesses shall be upon him first, to put him to death, and the hands of the entire people afterward. The Gemara in Sanhedrin 45a describes that the procedure of stoning was done first by pushing off the person who's being executed from a high elevation, and if he died from that, fine. If not, that's the first witness. The second witness actually takes the stone and is the first one to drop the stone on the transgressor, the sinner. If he dies, okay, and if not, the rest of the people can participate in the execution. Why should the witnesses be a part of the execution? The Rambam, in his Parish to the Mishnayos in Sanhedrin, suggests a very strong reason. We, the Bezdin, only heard the testimony of the witnesses, and the Torah tells us to believe the testimony. Okay, now what? However, the witnesses themselves, they saw it. If they are not 100% completely sure, absolutely, positively sure, they would not come and testify, knowing that they are going to be part of the execution process. Unbelievable. Pinch yourself. This is Jewish law. How precious is life? Life is so precious that we will only convict if the witnesses themselves are willing to actually perform the execution. Whoa, that's number one. Number two, we find a principle in Jewish law, hamaschil b'mitzvah omrim lo gmor. The one who begins a mitzvah, we tell that person or persons to complete the mitzvah. And therefore, the Eidim, who are the ones that come to testify, also are part of the completion of the mitzvah, which is the actual execution. I'd like to, however, suggest a third reason for this, which comes from the Sefer Milo Oroim, which was written by a Talmud of the Chose Milublin, and he says very sharply that since they actually saw this terrible action, be it of idolatry, be it murder, chilul Shabbos, immorality, there is a hashpa'ah, a negative blow to their neshama. You who watch this, it has an effect upon you. As the Brisker Rav says in his commentary on Parshas Nitzavim, where the Torah says in chapter 29, Pasuk 16, Vatiru eshikutzeim, you saw their abominations. By seeing their terrible actions, it has and makes an impression on you. Therefore, the Torah provides a means of an expunction, of removing this from you by your participating in the actual execution. So you're going to say to yourself, by having them do an act of violence, watch this. The answer is yes. What does the Gemara say in the first daf of Sota, Haroa Sota Bikilkula Yaziratzpo Minamayim. If someone sees the Sota, even not when she committed the adultery, but when she is unfortunately executed, Yaziratzpo Minayayin, he is to abstain from wine, because the very seeing of this has a negative effect on our purity of soul. So here as well, the witnesses who saw this is the Torah way of cleansing the negative effect on our neshama. Now listen carefully. This is not only in the negative, but it's expressed beautifully in the positive. In Pirkei Avos, in chapter 1, Mishnah 4 of Avos, the Mishnah teaches us, Yehi Beischa Beisvad L'Chachamim, that your home should be used as a meeting place for the rabbis. Okay, there's an important meeting taking place. We need a home. Volunteer your home. The Bartanura seems to teach that even if you're not going to be there, all the more so if you're there, but even if you're not there, just having the rabbis in your home is going to make a positive impression, is going to leave an positive mark on the home. Wow. And he compares it to someone who goes into a perfumery. Even if he doesn't buy anything, just his spending time in that environment, he's going to leave with a positive scent about him. Wow. Similarly, by having the rabbis in your home, if you're there, if you're not there, having this is bringing the perfumery into your home. We are today beginning the month of Elul, and notice that the Torah says, "Ubiarto hara mikirbecha." Now, what does the word mikirbecha mean in the global sense? "Ubiarto hara mikirbecha," and you shall destroy the evil from your midst. We're talking about the community, and therefore, from time to time, when a terrible transgression is committed, we need to have the capital punishment. But aside from mikirbecha, in the broader sense, in the communal sense, I'd like to suggest ubiarto hara mikirbecha. From each individual, we have an obligation to destroy, to rid the evil from our midst. The first thing I'm going to tell you is Tofasto meruba lo tofasto. Don't try with one sweep, I'm going to make myself a better person. Doesn't work that way. Elul is clearly the preparation for Yemei Hadin, for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. The answer is that we have to do this slowly, carefully, methodically. Then a person can truly utilize this month as a month of soul searching. Soul searching cannot and should not be done with one statement of Oshamnu, Bogadnu, Gozalnu, but as the Sfardim who began Slichos this morning, and the rest of us who might start, please God, a week before Rosh Hashanah, and throughout the Aseres Yemei Tshuva, recognize and realize that the more we put in to this month of Elul, to stop and pause and realize what a privilege Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are. The more we realize that, the more we prepare for that, the better chances we have for that Shana Tova U'Mesuka. Shabbat Shalom to all.